Samsung just dropped its flagship model in the Galaxy S25 Ultra, and it looks pretty cool, but it also doesn't really offer anything that makes me go, yeah, I gotta get that upgrade. And if you take a step back and take a macro view of things, there's one particular Ultra model that almost feels like it hasn't aged at all. And it makes me wonder if there's any real point in buying any other Galaxy Ultra. Hey guys, I'm Ryan Thomas, and this is a now 2-year-old smartphone, but it doesn't look or feel like it. Galaxy enthusiasts out there will recognize this as the S23 Ultra, and it might be one of the phones to buy right now if you want a stylus, DeX, and a full-fat Galaxy Ultra experience, and you only want to spend $500. Yeah, I have seen these things on eBay for that price in decent condition, but this video is maybe for those who already own one of these, because if I were you, I don't think I would upgrade. Here's why. I don't want to bang on about how smartphones have stagnated, because that's dull, it's pessimistic, cynical, ultimately quite boring. It's more so that Samsung pretty much nailed this phone. It's not entirely perfect, but it's one of the very best deals in mobile tech right now. Firstly, this phone is now on Android 14 and is due another 3 major platform upgrades along with a further year of security patches. So if you bought one now, it should still be going for 3 to 4 years before software support runs out, which is pretty decent for a phone that's already 2 years old and costs as little as this one does secondhand. And though this isn't the very latest software just yet, there's loads of Galaxy AI features if that's what you're into. You've got your standard video assist modes, your standard assist modes, your drawing assist modes, which lets you create AI images from doodles with the stylus, and your standard photo assist, object removal, transform. They're very handy to have. It's not fully featured. There is a lot of good stuff here. Of course, if you're not buying secondhand, I'm not sure this phone is really for you. I've seen some brand new inbox units for like $700 or $800. I don't think I'd pay that for a 2-year-old phone, especially a 2-year-old S23 Ultra. If your heart is really set on it, sure, go for it if you've got money to burn, but it's not something I'd generally recommend. Which isn't to say that this isn't worth the money. Aside from the subtly curved edges here, it does look and feel extremely high-end and very current. I like the way this phone feels in the hand, considering it's absolutely huge. I think the subtly curved edges actually do help it in its ergonomics. It has the full IP68 rating that you'll also find in the latest model, the fastest UFS 4 storage, the super reliable ultrasonic fingerprint reader, 45-watt wired charging like the S25 Ultra. The display is 0.1 inches smaller, but realistically you're going to notice that, and it's still a stunning 120Hz AMOLED panel that gets mega bright and looks great. Sure, it's not as bright as the latest models, which you'll notice side by side, but that sheer size for gaming and watching content is pretty optimal if you ask me. Because this phone got the Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 in every single SKU, where its predecessor, the S22 Ultra, got the lesser Exynos model here in Europe, and that phone was worse in a few other key areas as well, including the camera. That's why I decided that the S23 Ultra is sort of the sweet spot. The speed and the fluidity honestly feel fantastic. It is a very capable smartphone. Everything you'd expect a high-end phone to be able to do, this thing can do. Sure, the new chips are faster and they're more power efficient, but good luck finding something as good as this with a Snapdragon 8 Elite for $500. These start with 256 gigs of UFS 4.0 storage, but some of those models get 8 gigs of RAM and some get 12. If you have a higher end storage SKU like the 512 that I have here, or the 1TB model, then you're 100% going to get 12 gigs of RAM. And I still find this to be a great performer. It's a phone that feels pretty new to me actually. This is a really fast phone. So this has the same 5000 mAh battery and 45-watt wired charging specs as the new phone, but with 15-watt wireless charging over the new 25-watt Qi 2 setup that you'll find in the new Ultra. And battery life itself is going to depend on your battery health. This is a 2-year-old phone. My unit in general has held up really well. It still gets me a full day of usage with no dramas, but those who hammer their phones all the time might not be so lucky in this regard. Samsung's cameras, they have not dramatically changed in the last generation or so, and so the S23 Ultra's package is still maybe one of the best for the money. It has an awful lot going for it here. The main 200 megapixel 1/1.3 inch main camera is actually the same one as you'll find in the brand new Galaxy S25 Ultra, and it can take some phenomenal photos. This is definitely one of the best bang for buck point and shoot camera packages that you can buy, as not only is that main camera really good, but it's flanked by nigh on identical ultra-wide and 3x cameras as the S24 Ultra, but it has a longer reaching 10x optical periscope than any of the Ultras that came out after it. If you care about shooting stuff really far away, it does a phenomenal job. The sensor under that long lens is only 10 megapixels and it's pretty small in physical size too, and the selfie camera shooter is actually larger than this in terms of the sensor size, but that shouldn't put you off it because you're still going to get great photos out of this thing. If you're a bit of a bird watcher, a train spotter, the 10x 230mm equivalent camera is just supremely capable. This device's camera in general is a great package. You might not like Samsung's punchy color profile, and I don't mind it at all. And you can of course shoot RAW should you want to adjust your photos after the fact with a little bit more latitude. It does do 8K 30, Ultra HD 4K 60, and super slow-mo video that you'd expect from a 2025 flagship. Maybe the only two things this camera package is really missing for me are the super handy focal length adjustments in the software instead of the multipliers, and Ultra HD 4K 120p. But for this kind of money, that's a pretty big ask. It's not a perfect phone. Some won't like the curved display, although it is very, very subtly curved. The software support isn't as long as what you might find in a brand new Pixel 8a, but that doesn't give you nearly the same amount of hardware as this. And thanks to the newer model's weight savings, this does feel a little bit hefty, combined with its ginormous footprint. It's certainly not a phone for everyone, and that's totally understandable, but it's certainly got a lot going for it. The S Pen, DeX, Galaxy AI, feature-rich camera stack, phenomenal display, and very good battery life. The Samsung Galaxy S23 Ultra is an awful lot of phone for the money. You're getting a flagship experience for what has now become mid-range pricing, and that's just not something to take lightly. I know that buying used is a stumbling block for some, and that's fair enough. I get that the warranty and battery health situations are a bit of a trade-off, and some won't be willing to compromise on that. But this is the Galaxy that if I was going to go out and spend my money, I'd be buying right now. The top-end S25s are a bit pricey for me considering, well, just how much hardware that you get in that versus what you get in this, and Samsung has some serious competition this year with the 16 iPhone series, the 9 Pixel series, and of course OnePlus's 13. Not to mention in Europe you get the Vivo X200 Pro, the Find X8 Pro, the Magic 7 Pro, are all giving Samsung a massive run for its money this year, especially in hardware. Let me know what you think of the Galaxy S23 Ultra in the comments. Are you a long-term owner? I actually know quite a few people who have held on to this thing because it's just such a good phone. It's just one of those phones that sure was expensive when it was new, but has held up fantastically long term. I'm actually not sure they've made a device since this that I would upgrade to be totally honest. Stay tuned for Galaxy S25 coverage, by the way, that will be coming soon. And whilst you're down there in the comments, be sure to hit like if you enjoyed today's content and subscribe to never miss another upload from this channel. Thank you all so much for watching. I've been Ryan Thomas and I will catch you later. Cheers.